I promise y'all, I have rhythm. For those that watch the Almost Live.
We are back, episode
35.
35.
Yes.
Hey, India.
Hey, Tony.
How you doing?
I'm good.
Coach O,
Well.
working them.
Y'all, I'm tired. I don't know if y'all can tell Almost Live. I tried to spruce myself up a little bit, but I'm exhausted. So I am switching up a lot of things in my training plan. Not me, but between Coach O and just me as a personal individual, changing some things, and it's got me tired. But I'm trying to work through it. So
You can make it. I know you can.
Yes.
You're a runner.
I am a
You're
runner.
tough.
I am a runner, and I have to live the life of a runner.
I love you. You gotta live like a runner.
Yes.
You gotta live like you gotta recover. You gotta get your rest.
All
you
of
gotta
that.
train. All of that. You gotta live like a runner.
Yes.
Definitely. So the big news, and it was today, wasn't it? Or did it come out yesterday?
I think
Must be
I
yesterday
saw
'cause
it.
you texted me.
I saw it yesterday.
Yeah,
So I texted
okay.
you about it yesterday.
Yeah,
so.
you texted me yesterday about it. Big news because we talked about it on the last episode about maybe the top 3 runners from the Olympic marathon trials here in Atlanta won't go to the Olympics because of the different standards that the Olympic Committee or IAFF or whatever they call. I don't care what they call. The guys that govern everything that let you into the Olympics, they had changed their standards and everything.
And it was a little touchy for the guys.
It was a little touchy for the
ladies
guys.
were
The
fine,
ladies
but
were
the
going
guys
to be
were
okay
fine.
regardless. But yeah, it was a little touchy for the guys. But lo and behold, we have gold
changes.
label status
Yes.
for the Olympic marathon trials that are going to take place here in Atlanta in February.
February 2020.
So, great.
Yes. So that means that the top 3 men and top 3 women that
automatically
get to take it to the Olympics.
Yes, the way it should be done. You got to decide it at the trials, in my opinion. Don't tell me you won Chicago. I don't care. You got to decide it at the trials. Everybody got to run on the same course to decide who goes to the Olympics.
So I was talking to someone. Matter of fact, it was Lisa Gosney. I was talking to her about it, and
You mean
question.
Coach Lisa Gosney?
Coach Lisa.
Thank you,
Gosney.
Coach Lisa Gosney.
Put some respect on
Put some
my
respect
name.
on it.
Something that she asked, she was just like, so do you think that some people will even show up, being that it has changed now? Like, being that, because there's some people that are going to more than likely take 1, 2, and 3. We're not going to do predictions yet, but there's some people that could definitely take 1, 2,
now I
and 3.
understand what you're saying.
So for people that are running it, men more specifically, the men that are running it, and they know that they're probably not going to drop 1, 2, 3. Like, are they even going to stress themselves out over the next year and a half to even try to make it to the trials, or are they just going to leave it? Because I know that time still matters. Yeah. Even though the 211 is some change, that still matters. But are people going to kind of drop back now that the standard has changed? What do you think, Tommy?
Well, I mean, as me personally,
Yeah.
I would show up.
Of course.
I mean, that as a competitor, I mean, yeah, I'm 50 something. So right now, I might not look like that guy, but when I was younger, I was a competitor. I'm going. I mean, you go to the championship. You play to win the game.
Right.
So, why wouldn't you go? Who knows what day you might have?
Right. Because there obviously are some elite runners that they drop some bad days and they DNF and things happen.
Exactly.
So
Anything can happen.
It can knock you right on up.
When you talking about running them Atlanta hills, anything can happen. You might train better on hills than somebody else.
Yes.
And an article I read, and I don't want to go too far out of it already, but I read an article. So there was from Let'sRun.com, Steve Soprano. I think he used to be an elite runner. I think he used to be, but I guess the Atlanta Track Club brought him here for the Peachtree, actually, just to kind of report on that for Let'sRun.com. But while he was here, they let him run the 8-mile loop. And in the end, before I go into what all he said, but in the end, he said it was fair. He said it was He said it was more rolling hills. Actually, one of his comments was there was no, hills with like these ominous names like Cardiac Hill or anything like that are going to be in the 8-mile loop, which is true.
Right.
But I mean,
they cut that out.
If you live in Atlanta, I mean, it's a Cardiac Hill on every corner. So, but anyway, so he said it was fair, but he did say it he said it as well as one of the other runners that came in here and did it for the Road to Gold.
Road to Gold.
They said it was a cross between a marathon and cross country. Like, so you're going to be able to use tactics. It's not just a flat out just run keep your pace, you're going to be able to use tactics, especially since it's a loop race also.
Right. You have to be smart about it.
Yeah, you're going to have to be smart about it. And so I think it's open. It opens it up for everyone. Well, within reason, but pretty much opens it up for everyone.
Like, clearly, if you need to drop 10, 15, 20, 30 minutes off your time, you're not in it.
Yeah, you probably not going to make it.
You know what I mean? But there still is some room for people, and I think it's all about strategy. I think one of the biggest things is not going out too fast.
Yeah.
Atlanta will quickly trick you. They'll give you a nice little downhill in the beginning, and you're like, "Oh shit, I'm feeling
I'm about to PR."
Yes, they'll give you like the Peachtree. They give you a 3-mile downhill, and then they shoot you with the okie doke for the last 3 miles of climb.
Yeah.
So I think that you definitely have to be careful with that. I think strategy is what it's all about, and I think that that's the name of the game, regardless when it comes to running, especially running a loop course.
Yeah.
Whether it be the marathon trials or anything else, like a loop course is a mental game because it's like, okay, I hit that one time, I have to hit it again.
Yes.
And really staying in the moment and staying in the time of kind of what you're running and not giving too much to where you have some still push at the end just in case it is a neck-to-neck race at the finish line.
Exactly. So. And, I mean, and the thing is also, I mean, a lot of people are like, well, you know, why are they going to do the Olympic trials in an area where there's a whole lot of hills? Well, Tokyo... I mean, I've never been to Japan, but I do know that there is a rather large mountain range that runs through Japan. If there's a mountain range that runs through your country, then there's going to be hilly areas.
So this is my other thing. So aside from that, why not have the glory and the victory of doing the trials in a harder place, and then when you go for the finale, it's a little bit easier for you? Yeah. Like, in my mind, I would love the clout that I did the Olympic trials in Atlanta. It was a rather difficult course, and I'm in there.
You know what? I mean? You hit it right on the head. That's exactly what I was thinking today. Because I think, okay, so right before the Road to Goal race, I did go to the press conference that they had. Well, it wasn't really a press conference. It was more of a conference for the runners. Right. That the Atlanta Track Club had, and all the runners came in that were going to be competing. And, you know, the president of the Atlanta Track Club kind of talked about it. But I remember him saying, don't go out here and tell everyone that this course is, you know, super hilly and unfair and da-da-da-da. He said, don't say that. And you know what? Now I'm thinking, why does Atlanta do that? We constantly are trying to, no, it's not that bad. Da-da-da.
We're trying to protect our state.
Let's embrace the fact that we are hilly and the Atlanta runners run hills.
Right. But I think that I think that that's where the mental mentality comes in with running. I think I think so many people sleep on the physical versus mental or mental versus physical when it comes to being a runner. Yeah. Like, I feel like, yes, you can do hill repeats all day. You can do work on the Stairmaster or whatever that really gets your glutes and quads and all that together to be able to tackle those hills. But, like, if you don't have that mental strength to say, you know what, I'm going to push through another hill or I'm going to do that loop 2 more times, it could be a whole nother game for you. So if you're checked out mentally, it could put you in another place. And I think that that's what they meant in regards to don't go out here talking negative about the course, because it's like you're setting yourself back already if you're talking negative about it. And I think, and Tess is one of the main race directors that I know that hears this. Yeah. She's like, oh, what hills? Like, she's very, like, she does not focus on the fact that some of her majority of her courses are hilly, but like she doesn't focus on that. She's like, a race is a race and it's in Atlanta. At what point are we going to get over it? So I think at this point, not only is it physical training, but there also needs to be some mental training in regards to being able to get over that and get through it.
Well, honestly, I think, okay, so look at other cities. Look at San Francisco, which is definitely probably hillier than Atlanta.
And their marathon is this weekend.
And they embrace it.
Yes,
they embrace it. Like, they say, hey, you going to come here? You going to run these hills? And I think that's how we should become in Atlanta. We should take pride in it. And I think, honestly, because just like you said, mental, the Publix marathon. I think a lot of people don't run it that live right here in Atlanta, who train these streets all the time. They rather go run Chicago. They rather go, I mean, I can understand why you want to do New York, but they rather go run all these other marathons, but they don't run their hometown marathon because, oh, it's hilly. Right. Well, you train these hills.
No, I get it.
You should be able to run it.
And so I think that, so like for me, as a person that did Chicago for my first marathon, I, for one, chose that because I didn't want to be defeated as a runner. Like, taking on 26.2 miles and for it to be a very gruesome course and for it to already be very tiring to just run 26.2 miles, but for it to also be a very difficult course. Marathons can make you never want to run a day in your life. Like, you have to.
We do know people that have stopped running over marathons.
Yes. I mean, even when I finished my first marathon, I took some time off. I was like, who does this? Like, who does this? I'm like, who pays for this?
Why did I pay $180 for this?
Exactly. So I think that I get the piece of wanting to have a decent experience for 26.2 because running 26.2 trained or not trained is not the easiest thing, and it's not something that everybody's like, oh, that was great. Like, I don't know very many people
that run around and cheer.
Yes, you're going to gloat about the fact that you completed 26.2, but there's not very many people that are like, oh, 26.2 is the best feeling ever. No. So I think that there's the piece of being it your first or not, but I understand what you're saying, Tommy, as far as like, this is your hometown, embrace it, knock out a marathon here.
And embrace I think we should have shirts that say Mount Atlanta. Mount Atlanta.
Well, the back of my shirt right now says heat, hills, and humidity.
Exactly.
Yes.
That's Run ATL. That's what we are.
So their logo is heat, hills, and humidity, and that's what it is in Atlanta.
Exactly. So, you coming here, this is what you're going to deal with. You scared, you scared. That's all I'm saying. But anyway.
But I do know people that have run here, and they were like, never again. So, but that's just, that's an ego bust for them. But my thing is, there's going to be people that are going to say, you know what, never again. And then there's going to be people that says, you know what, I'm taking on Atlanta, I'm coming back, and I'm going to beast out these hills.
Exactly.
So there's two different people.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's true. And, we got kind of off. But once again, gold label status for the Olympic trials here in Atlanta. So I'm very happy about that.
Yes.
As we get closer, we're going to start asking for people's predictions
on top threes and all that.
Check out Rambling. Is it Rambling Runner?
Rambling Runner.
Rambling Runner, I don't know how many he's got, but he's got quite a few of the people that are coming here and has interviewed them. Check out his podcast.
Yeah.
Very
I want to say
insightful.
he's on episode 4 or so, and I think he might have 10 or 12.
Yeah, he's got quite a few of the Olympic hopefuls that he's interviewing, and get to know them so that when they do come here, you got maybe your favorites. So maybe tell us who your favorites are, who's gonna be 1, 2, and 3.
Right.
On the men's side, it may be kind of easy to call, but on the women's side, it's wide open.
No,
There's
a lot.
There's a lot of women that could walk away with 1, 2,
It's wide open.
3.
I have my predictions, but it's wide open.
Okay. So as we get closer, we'll get into that, and we'll get more into like if you're actually coming to Atlanta to hang out.
Where to eat, where to stand for the race, that'll be a good place, like all of that stuff. We'll get into that for you guys, because we know we do have some out of town.
Maybe we'll do a little run duo section.
A little meetup or something. Yeah, we'll do something for you guys.
So anyway, but that's great news. So that's the first thing we wanted to start off with. Now we were talking about the challenge of running in Atlanta. How about the challenge of running starting in Death Valley, the lowest point in North America, and running 135 miles, and you end up 8,300 feet above sea level. Badwater 135. That went on, not this past weekend, I think it was the weekend before.
Yeah, 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago. Both the men and the women broke the record.
Wow.
So, and I'm going to butcher these names. Do you think like in other countries they butcher like American names? Like,
they have to.
They'd be over there like, Tommy?
How do you think they pronounce my name?
Because I'm about to work these names.
Try your best, honey. Try your best.
The young lady that won, she's from Poland. I'm going to say her name is Patricia. That looks pretty close. There's a J in there, but that ain't how we spell it. And I'm going to go with the last name, Berezkowska. There you go. So she did 135 miles in 24 hours, 13 minutes, and 24...
Wait a minute. Say it again.
135 miles in 24 hours, 13 minutes, and 24 seconds.
She ran for 24 hours.
24. Well, you have 48 hours to complete.
I mean, of course, but I'm just saying, like in my mind, I'm like.
Well, and I didn't figure hers out, but the winner of the men's, Yoshiko Ishikawa. I'm gonna go with Ishikawa. He did the 135 miles in 21 hours, 33 minutes, and 1 second. He was averaging a sub 10 per mile.
That is crazy.
Over 135 miles.
That is amazing.
And
the things that the human body can do.
Well, and it's not just that. The things that for Badwater, it is billed as the world's hardest foot race. I don't know if it's as bad as, because there's a race in Greece called the Spethathlon or so. It's a race that Pheidippides supposedly ran from Soplace to Marathon to Warren of the whatever, but it's 150 something miles. And this guy Yoshi actually won that as well. So, but anyway, that one to me sounds harder because I've been to Greece and it gets hot here. Man, Greece is totally ridiculous, right. And it's a very, very mountainous area. But anyway, but they call this the world's hardest foot race. In parts of it, it's so hot that the runners are running on pavement. It's so hot, so to keep their shoes from melting. Wow. You know the white strips, the paint strips? They run on that as opposed to the pavement. Okay. And it keeps their shoes from melting. Wow. That's how hot it is. But anyway, so he wins, and then he takes a knee. Right after he wins, he takes a knee and asks his girlfriend to marry him.
Aww.
Wasn't that sweet?
Yes.
You know what? I mean, she said yes, but what if she would have said no? You don't run 135 miles. And she's like, you know what? I got to think about it.
My thing is, man, y'all need to propose when you know your girl is wanting it because...
So it shouldn't be a surprise?
No, it needs to be a surprise. But
how's it a surprise if you know she's going to say yes? That's not a surprise.
What?
How's that a surprise?
The proposal can be a surprise, but you need to know if your girlfriend is ready and wanting to be a wife and your wife. I think guys know that.
Do they?
Yeah, you should. If your girl always talking about marriage and when you gonna put a ring on it and me, us, we, family, like you know when a woman is wanting that with you. If a woman not bringing any of that up, don't get on the knee.
Don't get on the knee.
Don't do it.
If she be talking about I'm going with my girls,
don't do it.
It's like, well, me and my girls going to Dubai.
If she's still saying I and she not saying we, I'm just saying. Anyway,
that's a switch over.
Yes.
From I to we.
I mean, there's some little stuff in between, but I's and we's is important.
When she say we, that's when you gotta go. Oh, okay.
Okay, so I'm in this thing a little bit.
We together on this. Okay, gotcha.
But yes, for him to propose, that is amazing. How did he get off of that knee though?
Yeah,
after 135 miles, I wouldn't have been able to get up.
But see, he reminds me because I read quite about him, and he reminds me a lot of our former guest, Michael. Wardian. Yeah. He does those. He actually, because I think it was a race that Mike won, where you had to run it was a 24-hour race, and whoever ran the most miles won. He did the same thing and won it one year too. Okay. So I think he's kind of the same kind of guy.
He's an ultra runner. He's used to this.
Yeah. Well, but this is what blew my mind about the whole thing.
Okay.
There's no prize money for the Badwater. He got the same amount of... Okay, so when you finish Badwater, if you finish within that 48 hours, you get a belt buckle, which I'm sure is a badge of honor, but you get no money if you win. So he set a record, broke the record, won, but he got the same thing as the person that came in dead last. Well, not dead last, but the person that, finished within that 48 hours. The last person to cross the line within that 48 hours got the same thing that he got.
I'm laughing at you with his dead last. But anyway, yes, that is... I don't know. I like my medals, and the fact that you did that, man, I mean, he's okay with the clout, and he's been put down in history and all that stuff, but sometimes you want something a little...
Well, I guess...
tangible.
I mean, I still would like to do it. Yeah. That's the kind of thing I would like to do. I would like to do the one in Greece, too. That just sounds... I mean, as a runner, running that course has to be historic to you, and I've read of people who've done it, but... I would like to do it, and I would like to get it because I know I'm not going to break anybody's record.
Right.
I may get there at 47 hours and 59
minutes.
Exactly.
59 seconds.
Exactly. And get my little medal. So it is what it is. But congratulations on her saying yes.
Congratulations to all of that.
Yes, indeed.
Yes. So. Speaking of mental, we were talking a little bit earlier about like mental running and things of that nature. So of course I'm training right now, and I'm in week. Can you believe this is week 6 that I've been training with Coach O. I feel like it hasn't been that long, but it's been that long. It's been a long time. Anyway, so over the last 2 weeks, this is going on my 2nd week. I decided to step out of my comfort zone and find somebody to run with.
Okay.
So. I have have been running with a young lady named Nicole, and
What up, Nicole?
What up, Nicole? So she is of a different pace than I am. And I don't like to hear people say slower, but she is. I can be a little speedier than her at times. And so of course, on the first time that we ran, she kind of posted. She was like, "I don't know why India wants to run with me. She's out here. She's encouraging me. That's great. She's faster than me. I'm slower. Whatever. So of course, my point of reaching out to her was I needed to ensure that I stayed consistent. I don't have an issue with consistency, like being with Coach O. I'm that person. You give me a training plan, I'm going to do it.
Okay.
However, I learned that I need to do runs at a different time of the day because with my job, I'm sitting down 6 to 8 hours a day.
Okay.
And when I get out of, doing my job and I try to go out for a run, my body is stiff.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And it's not enough stretching in the world that can undo the stiffness that is. So I'm like, okay, India, maybe you need to start, working out in the morning versus the evening. So I will always see her working, doing her runs in the morning. So anyway, I reached out to her for that. Obviously, change of day, consistency, holding me accountable, getting my runs done because you all know that it's been very hot in the evenings. And then I also wanted to kind of work on some of the aesthetics of me and for my easy runs to be really easy runs.
Okay.
Because I think sometimes we underestimate, like when I get my training plan from Coach O, it gives me 2 to 3 days of easy runs. So that means that I don't have to pound out these ridiculous paces. Like I can take it easy. Yeah. And it's just getting the miles on my legs.
Yeah.
So I'm like, why not use those days as my easy runs?
Okay.
So I found it interesting that there had been a couple people that reached out to me, just kind of like, why would you run with someone that's quote unquote of a different pace or a little bit slower than you are? And I'm like, there's a lot of different reasons and benefits that I've gotten out of running with Nicole. So obviously she's getting me out of the bed early in the morning. I wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning twice a week to go run with her. So my runs are done in the morning and I don't have to worry about the evening. My body is more loose and I don't have that stiff feeling when I'm running.
Okay.
She also runs intervals, so it allows me to do the whole interval and kind of sticking with the interval piece. Mentally for me, intervals sometimes can be tiring because I feel like I'm walking and then I'm taking off. And it's almost like doing sprints. Yeah. Right? So, transitioning from that, I feel like my heart rate is better. Like, it's coming down. And I'm also able to focus more on form. I feel like when I'm running by myself, I'm, like, sluggish. And I'm, like, I'm trying to pull it out.
It's like,
can we just get this done?
Where is the finish?
Right. Whereas with this, I'm really, like, focusing on that. And also the mentality of just being beat up mentally with running with faster people sometimes is not what we need. So for me, I'm that runner. If I go to a group run, if someone is faster than me, I'll be like, all right, girl, I'll see you at the end. I'm not that person that's like, run and I'll catch you. Yeah. There's two different mentalities of runners. I'm not that one that's, if I see someone and they pass me and I'm like, okay, I'm going to catch them. That's not my mentality. I'm like, okay, I'll get to the end when you get, sometime after when you get to the end.
See you in a minute.
See you in a minute. So I think that there's different mentalities in regards to running. And I'm getting benefits out of it. She's getting benefits out of it. Trying to work with getting her time down, work on different intervals. And just, I don't know, I feel like it's also just helping and encouraging. Like, I'm enjoying that piece of it as well. So it's been interesting.
Well, I mean, honestly, because I was actually reading something, because Kipchoge's getting ready to do his attempt again. And I guess he's reaching the point where he's gone back to his training camp in Kenya. And he says he doesn't believe you can get as much gain running alone as you can running with other people. Which I can definitely see where he's coming from. I can see, how Nicole is definitely catching with you, and then how you're using her for more of your accountability buddy as well, to get you out of bed in the morning to go run. You're kind of doing it for both. I'm sure both of y'all are both like, you know what, I don't want to go, but I already told
for sure. And even mentally for me, when I'm running, I'm like, I can't give up. She's counting on me not to give up. You know what I mean? There's times that she's, told me after run she wanted to do 2 or 3 walk breaks, and she was like, but you wasn't hearing that. I was like, no, I'm trying to pump these miles out. So it still is, even though I may be ahead of her at some points, it's still pushing me to continue when I want to stop too.
Yeah.
So I think that is something that I have missed in regards to running with people. Because during Chicago training, my second Chicago Marathon rounds, I didn't train with anybody. It was just me. So I'm enjoying it.
Okay.
I'm enjoying it.
That's good. I mean,
it's a
I'm
little
glad.
mix up to my training.
I'm glad.
And it's causing me to the AM run for people that run in the mornings. Lord, be with y'all. I'm hoping Braxton, my worker, he says a month is what you should give yourself of getting your body used to it.
Yeah.
Because in the morning, because we get up at 4, we take off by like 4:55, 5 o'clock. I am literally slow nodding and dozing by like 8 o'clock. Like I'm struggling, and I'm trying not to OD on coffee.
Yeah.
Like I don't want to have to do that. I don't want to get
yeah, I get
addicted to it. I feel like I have to have it.
Yeah. Try tea. That's what I did. I switched to tea. It works. Get you some good caffeine tea. Okay. Yeah, it definitely works, and it's a little easier on your body than coffee. But that's great, and I'm enjoying. Everybody is. I'm sure listening to your journey with Coach O, Lace Up Fitness.
Lace Up Fitness.
Most definitely, and we're gonna get more into it as to her interaction with Coach O. So people who've never had a coach maybe can kind of figure out if that's something that they want to do, and then they can call up Lace Up Fitness and get this going with Patrick. But good to hear. Yeah. I've been seeing your posts. I'm with you on the morning because I've been doing the 4 a.m. runs myself during the week. And it is hard to get up.
You gotta take it to bed too. Like if I'm not in the bed by 9 o'clock, like nothing.
No,
like
I
it's
try
a
to go
wrap.
to bed at 8, but
it's a wrap.
Trey don't want to hear that.
Right.
But anyway, that's great. So I definitely encourage running with people because, like I said, when I went to the Peachtree, it's been so long since I've hung out with people, the running community, because I'm out here in Tucker and I'm just kind of running on my own.
Right.
Seeing other runners definitely makes me go, damn, he in shape. Damn, he in shape. Damn, look at his form. Damn.
And it depends on where you run, too.
Yeah.
Like, there's certain parts of the city that I run, and I'm always passing other runners, and I'm doing the whole run nod, and I'm like, yes, like, it's other people out here.
Yeah.
And there's certain parts of the city where it's like nobody, and I'm just like, do-do-do-do-do. So I think that makes a difference, too, like, where you run, if there's other active people around you, who you're running with. It's always good to see people. It just gives you that motivation.
Exactly. Now, you're Nike. You're a Nike person, right?
Yes.
Basically. Why you say it like yes?
I say that with hesitation because over the last 2 training cycles or marathon training cycles, I have not worn Nikes.
Really? What was his name? You did tell me what you were wearing. Asics.
No, I was wearing Adidas Energy Boost.
Really? Oh.
So that's been my shoe. I'm still not in love with it.
No,
I still haven't found my shoe yet.
Yeah,
I'm still working on that. The reason is I have been a Nike person for so long.
Yeah.
I used to do the Vomero 10s, and now I think they almost at 20s, literally, probably at like 16 or something. But the shoe just does not do the same as a 10 did, and it's hard to find the 10. So I just was like, let me switch over to something else. So it's working for me right now, but it's still not the it shoe. But I still love Nike, like all my clothes, headband, like The Nike stuff that I have in my closet is just ridiculous. So yes, I'm still a Nike girl.
Gotcha. Now, once again, I don't know, the IAF, whatever they call. So, in 2016, Nike with the Vaporfly 4%ers or whatever the Kipchoge wore in the Olympics, the top 3 finishers all wore that shoe. At the time, that shoe was not available. Only people that could wear it were people who were sponsored by Nike. They were experimenting with them or whatever. And they ended up taking the top 3 spots. Now, fast forward, so there has been a rule put in because of they felt like maybe that shoe gave an unfair advantage. So instead of banning the shoe, what they said was that any type of shoe used must be reasonably available to all in the spirit of the University of Athletes. So basically, they're not banning the shoe, and we're going to lose you on Almost Live, so peace out. Instead of banning the shoe, they just said any shoe has to be available for everybody.
Right.
Reasonably.
Right.
And what that means, I don't know what reasonably means.
Yeah, because $350 may not be reasonable.
Yeah, but I guess you should be able, as an elite athlete, get a hold of the shoe even if you're not sponsored by Nike.
Right,
basically.
Which is what did not happen with